Yeah. No, the plane. No, I'm sorry. The plane. The plane has those. So the no. Saying so. I wonder why. I don't know why the American Airlines didn't get that warning and then just pull back up real quick. Uh huh. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why the American Airlines little beam bonds weren't going off, and he just real quick. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Oh, it's 7 o'clock.
I have my 1 hour, so y'all get ready.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lord. It's getting hot in here. So go, we'll turn it back on. When we get chilly, we'll turn it back on, Lee.
Its name is Lee. That's what Candy used to say about before we had remote control days.
Mhm.
She's the channel chaser.
Oh, yeah.
Candy can change that channel. Clark, keep doing. Can you be 7 o'clock? And clarify what it is. You got to blame them for it. Blame them for it. Mics are hot.
That's manual.
Well, welcome to almost February. You know, I'm not even sure how you say. Why did they spell it like that? February. It's not February.
Well, that's how we say it. That's
I
how
know-
everybody says it.
No, we don't.
I've never thought of February.
February.
That's the way I've
Well, I've never. No, I don't
said
think I've ever put the R in there. February.
I know you haven't.
That's February.
Neither
I've
have-
never.
Neither have
February.
about 98.73% of the people in this
Right.
world.
No, I have not. Yeah.
Well, welcome to it. It's going to be with us for 28 days this year.
Only 28.
Yeah, that's enough. If you're depending on seasonal temperatures to help you know what month we're in, you're going to just be out of luck this
Yeah.
week. Okay. Super freezing temperatures 1 week ago,
Mm-hmm.
down to 10 degrees here one morning. 2 mornings, I think. Well, no, 2 mornings are down to 12. Super freezing temperatures here in
Yes.
sunny South a week ago. Highs in the 70s by week's end. That's like tomorrow, right, Kelly? It's going to be warm. It's going to be hot by our standards for this time of year. The weather is as unsettled as a Democrat on Capitol Hill these days. And for those who slipped into the United States without being invited and without permission, talk about unsettled conditions. Our government is finally securing our country from within. Some folks are unhappy with that. Others just hope and pray that those elected on a promise that they would do what we wanted, will not. They should remember that we brought them to Washington, these folks who are going to be naysayers, and we can send them packing, and we will. That's part of what we will be talking about today, coming up later in the show. And then we'll have a visit from our sports editor here from the Jacksonville Daily News. I think we're going to call him our sports editor, too. What do you think?
He is ours.
Yeah, with a look at we can't do that. We might have to pay him. With a look at what's going on in the world of high school sports here in Onslow County. First,
He'll get what we get.
unfortunately, just 8 or 10 minutes before 9 o'clock last night, everything lit up all over
Sure did.
at Washington Reagan Airport, National Airport. A plane was landing, a commuter plane. It was a PSA plane, and it was contracted to American Airlines. It's a little commuter plane. I think they'll hold about 70 passengers or something. It was inbound coming from Wichita, Kansas.
Mhm.
Has about 60 passengers on board and a crew of 4. That's 2 pilots and 2 flight attendants. And it was coming in down to 400 feet on the approach to the runway. Here are some things that get a little bit sticky. We'll talk about some of those. At the last minute of the flight, the air traffic control asked the plane to move over to another runway to come in, a shorter runway. And it happened. So helicopter, an Army helicopter from Fort Belvoir was taking off, getting ready to take off, and it took off as this plane was coming in. And unfortunately, the plane and the helicopter ended up on the same location at the same time. Helicopter, they collided. I can't call it that he ran into them. One that they did collide right now, and everything else is going to depend upon a thorough investigation, which is already underway.
Yes.
Tragically, it's presumed at this point in time they're going to be in a recovery mode this morning. We know that some bodies have been recovered. They're not confirming anything, but the facts are the facts. They got them. The media's got hold of it, and as of last night, early last night, about 18 bodies have been recovered. Another one was recovered a little bit later on. So I don't know. It's a tragic situation. Lots of blame going to be placed for everybody, but what you hear right now, what I heard to begin with last night, what I read to begin with last night was changed 8 times before I went to bed at 4 o'clock. 8 or 10 times, things varied all over the place. So we shall wait and see. It's just tragic. It's a tragic situation.
There's a news conference at 7:30 this morning also, so with updates.
If it's no better than last night's news conference, which was not a news conference, it was a briefing or something to give everybody a chance to get some camera time.
I think that's what that was. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We got a caller?
Charlie.
Well, he hung up. I guess maybe he'll call back here when we get on a roll. Folks, if you're trying to call in and you're not on the topic that we're on, if we're doing something like this, we're not going to interrupt to talk about the snow in China, things like that. We're not going to do it.
Snow?
They do. It does. Snow
Yes,
there.
it has snow.
Yeah.
No, I meant to. They have it right now.
Of course they do.
Probably, yes.
Not probably, they do.
Let me check
It's
that
February
out.
almost.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
That's
Oh,
my story.
all right.
I'm sticking to
I
it.
was being sarcastic.
Why are you
Keep
sarcastic?
up.
I don't want to keep up with you. You're just too confusing this morning. Good
No,
morning.
I
How
love
are you,
doing
sir?
it to you.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good
Good,
morning,
how are
Charlie.
you?
What's going on?
So I'm going to make this a minute conversation. I did a little bit of research on the plane and the helicopter
Yeah.
that collided at Reagan Airport.
So
Okay.
you've solved the
Black
mystery,
Hawk
right?
helicopter has a range of about 1,200 nautical miles.
Mhm.
And here's the beauty about this thing. Hold on. Where is it? Okay. The UH-60L Black Hawk is used by the Army, and it's cost around $5.9 million. The HH-60G Pape Hawk by the Air Force costs around $10.2 million. Here's my point. Do you really need a pilot in that plane that costs upwards of $10 million?
Absolutely.
You would think they would have every sort of navigation. It should be alerted to everything and anything. It should be alerted to a bunny or a bird or a frog.
Have you ever
that
flown?
gets in
Have you
front
ever
of it.
flown in a helicopter,
I have.
Charlie? Have you ever flown
No.
in a military helicopter?
No.
No.
I
These
haven't.
guys
I
fly
haven't.
by the seat of their britches all the time because they're having to do maneuvers that AI, artificial intelligence, which means fake intelligence, automatic radar alerts, will not serve the same purpose. Okay,
Okay.
I can't do it.
Okay, so I agree with you. So here's my
You
theory.
don't have to agree
Here's
with me.
my
It's a fact.
theory. Okay, here's my theory. I don't think it's an African American. I don't think it's an Indian American. I don't think it's an Asian American. I think there's some sort of DEI individual inside that helicopter.
Why do you think that? Where did you get that from? Is that just something you
It's a $10 million
dreamed?
helicopter. But this thing should think for itself.
No, it should not.
You don't know.
That's scary.
Honestly, you don't think it should think for itself?
Absolutely not. Listen, I've had automatic pilots on my boat. It's a 30-footer. It weighs 5 tons with 300 gallons of fuel coming in. I am certainly not going to allow that to maneuver its way through the inlet through rough water or anywhere near other boats.
I have an old car, almost 15 years old, but aren't Teslas, like 2024 Teslas, can't they detect if you're about to crash into another car
Sure.
and steer you away from that crash?
Maybe. How many crashes have they
Okay.
had?
Well, no. But don't these cars cost like upwards of between like $40,000 and $60,000? Don't they say warning, 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 danger, danger? How can you have a $10 million helicopter that doesn't say, hey, guess what, guy? You're about to crash into a plane. You might want to make a left or right turn. Seriously?
By the time that guy took off and he was airborne at any point in time, that helicopter, he had 400 feet to go to get to that plane. Do you know how long it takes to do that in a helicopter like that? When they take off, you've never been in one. They also take off with the tail up. The pilots are looking down at the ground because that's where their issues are going to be. Below
But
them.
isn't there some sort of like radar system inside the helicopter that says warning, 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 Will Robertson, warning, warning?
If the stuff is directly ahead of them, it's not a proximity detector. Proximity detectors detect all
You know
around
what?
you.
I'm a fan of yours. It's just bizarre that you're defending.
No, I'm not
What
defending
might
it.
have
I'm
happened?
just telling you the facts. And wait till we figure out what the investigators see, and once they pull all of the flight recorders and get all of the audio, they haven't gotten all of it yet. It's available. They haven't gotten out. They've only got the audio going to the helicopter. They have not gotten the audio coming back from the helicopter.
Can I ask you this?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so obviously when helicopters or planes land on an airfield, there's a control tower.
Yes.
That control tower, he has all those images that are about to land on his or her, or whatever your pronoun is. They can see all these objects in the sky that are about to land.
Correct.
And the plane, they also can see all these objects that land. The helicopter can see all these objects that are about to land. What am I missing?
Where did you get that from?
Wait a minute. Don't they have don't they land? Isn't there like a bunch of dots in front of them?
I'm talking about the helicopter that's on the ground getting ready to take off. You think it can see on its radar all of the
I don't
planes
think
that
the
are in the
helicopter's getting ready to take off. No. I think the helicopter crashed into in the air. The helicopter crashed into the plane.
400 feet from the ground where he took off. Slightly longer than a football field, or slightly higher than a football field is long. How long do you think it takes a $5 million helicopter to make that travel that distance?
Really?
Detect it?
Yeah, it's like, hey, dude, go right, go right, go right, go right, go right.
Done. You're dead. That's the amount of warning you would get.
No, I think it detects it with up to like 30, like at least up to a minute, doesn't it? Doesn't it say, listen, steer left, steer right, steer right?
Why don't you do look under military aircraft and crash avoidance systems? See what you come up with.
You know what? I'm telling you right now, this is going to be an absolute DEI type situation. It makes no sense to me. I don't know. Listen, you know, you're smarter than me. Actually, I'm an idiot, so I'm going to let this conversation go. I just don't get it.
Okay.
The helicopter should have said, "Don't land, don't land."
If you're claiming to be an idiot, why are you making these kinds of statements and we're supposed to accept them?
I don't know. I'm hoping Lee will come to my defense and say, you know what, I agree with Charlie. I'm hoping, that's what I was hoping, but it's not going to happen.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Bye, Charlie.
I mean, I know what Charlie was saying.
Yeah, I can understand.
You've got to check out these. I've got a little bit of knowledge from other individuals who are really smart, who've been flying those things, had flown them for 28 years, including the Black Hawk.
I still think my opinion is going to come down to a communication failure.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. Just have to wait and see. I mean, there's so much speculation.
That's all.
And
there is
everyone
right
has
now.
opinions like me.
Me and Lee
You
have
know?
the same opinion.
Yeah, Kelly and I.
We talked about it.
Yeah, it just, but it just takes time. But like I was telling you this morning, isn't it amazing or bad that nowadays when something happens, all of a sudden you've got press releases. That's Chris Marks. You've got people in the government that are putting out messages on X. You've got people that are posting videos of what allegedly happened. In the past, we never got all that. And nowadays, anything happens. If somebody trips on a sidewalk and falls and smashes their face.
Which one do you pick that you want to believe?
I don't.
when they're conflicting.
I look at the big picture.
And then you
Is what-
decide what seems the most likely to you.
That's my opinion. Yes,
Okay,
what's
fine.
most likely to me. But it's just amazing that nowadays, where anything is before the fire's even out, the embers are even out. You've got videos. You've got all these speculation. You've got. Good Lord. That's why you have to sit back and just wait.
Yeah.
If you want to form an opinion, fine.
Go for it.
Sit back and wait, and let's just see what happens.
Just don't be disappointed when you're wrong. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Remember that, Ray.
Good.
Kelly and I are right.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a good Thursday despite the
Tragic situation last night.
terrible.
What do we have? 67
It
dead,
really-
likely.
Yes.
yes. And first off, Rayford, kudos to you. You must have an alarm go off that says, "Hey, something needs to be reported."
No,
you were probably one of the
I got
first
one,
to
one of
report.
those alarms. It's
He's
called
a great-
Lee in this case.
Lee and Kelly.
Well, I think Lee hit me first.
No, I hit you
Did
first.
you
was-
hit it first?
It was
I
me.
was getting ready to hit the send button when hers came in, and I'm
Mhm.
like, and then there was one point where we all three texted at the same time the
Yeah.
same information.
Mhm.
So usually it's
Oh,
me
kudos
pestering
to 'em.
everybody,
But I was there first yesterday.
Well, let me
Which is
see,
unusual.
Kudos. Yeah, just I didn't catch all of Charlie's thing, but just watching how much you want to believe national media.
Mhm.
The controller was in charge. He was in charge of both the commuter and the Black Hawk.
on two different
He had told
frequencies.
the Black Hawk, he told the Black Hawk go behind the RJ, the regional jet,
Mhm.
and the pilot acknowledged. But the question is now, like you said, Rayford, with the black boxes, why didn't he? Why didn't that happen?
What was the
And
time?
nobody
What was the
knows.
time between that transmission and then bang? How much time?
In my honest, I always tell you, they did not mention the time, so I can't answer that.
Mhm.
I think the advice that you all are giving right now of let's wait to get the facts
Yeah.
as that's going to be given out to everybody. But that water temperature
It's cold.
would probably be such a hindrance. I don't know Potomac River that well, but it says waters are rough, the temperatures are cold. It makes it very hard, especially at nighttime.
Where the two wrecks where the wreckage ended up is in 7 feet of water. It's basically a massive amount of mud along the bank there, along beside the airport, and they're in 7 feet of water. Water temperature was about 37 degrees, I think, at that site last night. If you've never been in 37-degree water, just go ahead and fill up an ice bucket with ice in it one day and get it down to 37 degrees and put your hand in there, see how long you can stay. You can't.
No.
I've dove in 36-degree water with a wetsuit and a thermal underwear on and hot water poured down my neck. I lasted for 15 minutes before I was about to freeze to death, and I got out.
Hey, God bless for even trying.
Well, I had something to do, and I got the job done, but I made it fast. It's just put it that way.
Yeah, Lee brings up a good point. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Rayford, but Lee brings up a good point about these video cameras, these telephones, and everybody. As soon as something happens, whether it's law enforcement, accidents like this, accidents on the road, someone's already immediately, here's a video. I got a video of it for you. And I guess maybe they want to be reporters one day in their future life. Who knows? I just think that everybody should allow it to work out. Mainly pray for the families that have lost their lives and the families who they have remaining.
Absolutely.
That should be the key
this is a very tragic situation. The other thing we do not know, as a state senator from Kansas pointed out, Kansas, right? Yeah, this word. He was on the air last night. He was the third one, I think, up, and he pointed out, no, because this is a normal plane for folks from that area forth to DC, including a lot of people like him. He flew that same route on a regular basis. We do not know who everybody that's on that plane is. it's a possibility there could have been AIDS on the plane. There could have been all sorts of people on that plane that are, part of the government.
Well, when they first started coming out with some of the senators and stuff, I'm thinking, oh Lord, they're going to make an announcement, but of course they didn't, which I'm grateful for. But condolences to the families of the ones that were on the plane. But you never know, and it's just like Chris said. As soon as something happens, it's everywhere.
Sure.
It's all over social media. It's on every news, and each news outlet differs in what they're saying. Like I was watching Fox, I turned over to NBC for a minute, and their story was similar, but there was a lot of other CB. It was just crazy. And
Ever been to a pig cooking contest?
Oh yes.
Did you sample each and every one of them?
Oh yes, I was a judge.
Story at every one of them.
I was a judge a couple times.
So have I. I want to do that again.
One of the things that has come out is there were members of the U.S. figure skating young team on there, and
with their families,
and they put out the U.S. Figure Skating Association body has already put out a statement about that.
Yeah, there was even didn't they say a couple Russian skaters?
The two Russian skaters that were world champions, they were now coaches. But these were young figure skaters. They had a camp, and they were returning with the coaches, their family members, and then the other athletes. But they use the word young, which it usually means teenager. When you do figure skating, you start young because by the time you're like 20, you're considered a dinosaur.
You're going to be worn out by then.
There was a picture
sad.
of a few of them that had already reached the news media.
Yeah,
it was just so sad.
But they are saying the two world champions have already been named by Russia because they, even though they lived in the U.S., they were still Russian citizens. So. Very sad.
So anyway, it's going to come out, and we're going to have to wait to find what the full report is. As far as when I saw the video first time, I said, "Oh, wait a minute! What's this other plane out there for?" And then I said, "Okay, so he's got this." You put myself in the dude's shoes, right? The pilot of the helicopter.
Right.
There's a plane up there. Do you have him in sight? Yep, I got him right there. Wrong plane. I'm just knowing how people would react or how they look at things. Yeah. They didn't have that much. Too much traffic going on. If you're ever in a small plane sometime, just listen to all the garbage traffic that's out there. It's worse than CB radio with truckers on 995.
Breaker 19.
I think the only other thing I'd like to comment on that is, and we were talking about, Lee, you were talking about going to the different networks and stuff. The people at the desk, the quote, the stars of the show, or whatever you want to call the face of that program.
The paid readers.
They're all trying to, they're trying to pretend like they actually know what the people on the ground, the people that cover these things, like Tom Costello and some of these other people that actually know what the letters mean to the equipment and stuff like that. Was it true that the task on this one? Okay, I always say, wait to hear from the people that know the business.
Yeah, everybody was on last night except for Jim Acosta.
Whoops.
Yeah,
gone. Goodbye.
That's very, but a quick note: 2 days left for Reach Across America.
2 days means today and tomorrow, y'all.
Veteran.
Right.
And I got to tell you, I want to thank Don Walton, attorney at law.
Yay,
Don, very nice contribution. Yeah, and Heidi Bauer. And again, we do have the wristbands. If people are willing to wear them, we will happily mail them to them. You three are getting yours in person.
Hand delivered.
You'll get yours in person, hand delivered. And I just want to thank everybody again. They keep thanking the wrong person.
No, it's you. You're the ramrod in this case.
I did this, but it's live and local, real talk, and it's the people who've donated the money, and we thank them so much. In February, we'll start the new program, and I'll give a call and talk about that, the new program to pay forward. But please try to take advantage of the 3 for 2 now, because it's really a great deal. It's a great offer. Dawn was able to donate 28 wreaths through using the 3 for 2.
Cool.
So
Good for Don.
very cool. And again, my sincere thanks to you 3 for all your efforts, and businesses and corporations. We're going to be asking you for some donations too. So
Chris,
God bless everybody.
I don't know that we'll do it today, but I want to talk to you. It's not bad, but you've had to cough up the cash for a couple of individuals or
gonna
so
ask
out
you
there
about
that
that.
whatever.
Yep.
But maybe we'll save that like for tomorrow, because we've got this other stuff. I want to talk to you about people who don't step up to the plate, and maybe this will be a little nudge for them that they
Yeah.
will step up to the plate. And I still owe him.
Hey, Chris, bless his heart. I mean,
Yeah.
we talked about him and I talked about that the other day about people not paying you back.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
I was kind of upset to hear that.
but maybe
Yeah.
maybe they just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe their a monthly check hasn't come in yet.
Yeah, it's true, but
we got the first of the month.
We'll
here.
talk about it tomorrow.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. Those that can, that's fine. And those that can't, we don't mind. It's the veterans that we're really
You are so
respecting
gracious.
and honoring. And
You
doing
are
that.
very gracious.
But but yeah, there are other situations where people will take advantage of nice people,
Mhm.
and say, hey, can I borrow X? And I promise to pay it back, and then you never hear why, and then why you didn't do it.
Yeah.
But that's for another subject. Y'all are covering a great program. I don't want to keep you.
We'll,
People are going to call with their thing.
We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. God bless you all.
Yeah,
Thank
you
so
too.
much for
Thanks
you,
for what you're doing,
Chris.
Chris. Continue to do. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's talk about some weather. Whether you like it or not, we're going to talk about the weather, right?
No, I like
Offshore
it.
today, out to 20 nautical miles. Winds out of the northeast, 10 to 15 knots. Going to switch around to the east this afternoon. About seas 2 to 4 feet. Not bad. It's looking pretty good. You should be able to get through the inlets today if you want to. Sounds and rivers only a moderate chop. Diminish. If you happen to go out there and you haven't paid any attention, don't try to catch. And if you do happen to catch a speckled trout, throw him back while he's still alive.
Nope.
Marine fisheries, they close that season. Why? Because of that that coal event we had last week. They call it a stun coal event. The fish are stunned. A lot of them have died. And a lot of those that have died are not going to have babies. So those big old trout that we've been catching, there are going to be fewer and fewer of them this season, this coming spring, summer, fall, and early next winter. For the last few winters, they haven't had to close it because we haven't been down to 10 degrees. And when you get down to 10 degrees suddenly, like it did, and stayed there 10, 12, 13, 14 degrees overnight, that river does not warm up. It's too cold. So they have closed it. So if you go out there, don't catch any trout. If you do happen to catch them, throw them back immediately, okay? Friday, tomorrow, it's also known as the eve of February. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, increasing to 20 to 25 in the afternoon. Gusts to 30, seas 5 to 8 feet tomorrow. If you're going to do it today. Sounds and rivers choppy, becoming rough in the afternoon. Saturday, northwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming northeasterly 15 to 20 with gusts to 25 in the afternoon. Seas still 5 to 7 feet tomorrow. Come down in the afternoon 3 to 5. The wave detail here, sometimes I don't give you all of this because you don't need it, but waves out of the south, 6 footers every 8 seconds. Those are big, as high as the ceiling is, and they're going to be 6 seconds apart, 8 seconds apart. That's close. They're going to meet up with some cross chop waves from the southeast every 10 seconds. So it's going to be that's when you get the washing machine effect. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop, increasing to choppy in the afternoon. And you're going to tell us how nice it's going to be, aren't you?
Tell us how the winds are going to cross.
Well,
Kelly.
today it's going to be mostly sunny, high of 60 with 5 to 8 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
Tonight, mostly cloudy, lower 46, winds calm. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. However, the high will be 74. The winds will be from the south from 7 to 17 miles an hour in that range. At times we could have 28 mile an hour gusts.
Mm.
Now tomorrow night, it's apparently going to rain. It will be a low of 48 and winds 6 to 15 mile an hour with 22 mile an hour gusts. Then Saturday, sunny, high of 63, 5 to 10 mile an hour winds and 18 mile an hour gusts.
Any rain?
Nothing for the weekend. Sunday will be 62, Monday 70, which is so annoying because it should be that on the weekend. But remember, Groundhog Day is today.
That's right.
Oh, good.
I think
That
you'll see
critter. I
Now, I
better
mean, it's
get
supposed
my
to be
meme
sunny
out.
here, but I don't know what's going to be doing in Pennsylvania. But if he sees his shadow, we already know what that means.
What does it mean? I never get it right.
I thought if he sees it, he goes,
me
he
too.
hibernates because he's scared of it. That's how I associated it.
Well,
I need to
if
check.
it turns out that's the way it is, then
Mhm.
you check it out because that's one
Yeah,
way I'll
every
try to
year,
remember it
every,
next year.
every
Yeah.
year he goes back into that
look at
hole
it, he
saying
sees his
6
little-
more weeks.
It is, he sees his shadow, so he's scared.
I think we should go groundhog hunting.
They don't
Groundhogs
ta-
are cute.
I don't think they taste good though, do they?
We don't eat them, Ray. For everything
Ew.
isn't edible.
I
Well,
just
why
wanna
would you hunt it if you're not going to
Okay.
eat it?
make a fur out of them or
Who-
something?
We just want to name him and pet him.
Yeah, I'll
Oh.
do that.
She wants to put him in a
So-
zoo in a cage, right?
Well, I just hope between today and tomorrow night the
Groundhogs are
ground
cute.
dries up a little bit. It's so
Yeah.
mushy.
I'm
We,
looking.
yeah, we got still. Well, there's some snow bundles out there I saw yesterday
Yeah,
I
still
tried
see
to run
some.
them
where they
over.
had plowed them up. And
Yes.
pa-
Oh,
packed it up
yes.
high. I
Like
said,
in the shopping centers.
Yeah. huh?
Yeah, I just want to go kind of like run
Okay.
over it.
Now
If-
you got the story.
If he sees his shadow, if it's sunny, then that means we're going to be 6 more weeks of weather. So I liken it to he's scared, so he goes back
I
and
got you.
hides.
So we'll
Yeah.
do it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If he sees himself as a shadow,
He's
he's scared to
scared.
death, so he goes and takes a
Yep.
nap.
yeah.
Fat little pig.
If he does not see it, it's an early spring.
When would he not see it? Nighttime?
No,
No,
a
when
cloudy day.
On a cloudy,
cloudy
day.
day.
Cloudy, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, cloudy or
if it's
nighttime.
cloudy, if it's ugly, if it's
Now, what's
raining,
the
you won't see a
Dumbest
shadow.
thing ever.
What is? Let me see what's going to be
Don't.
doing up there. I can pull up my little weather. Let's
In
pull
And
up.
does
Pennsylvania.
the weather
We'll pull
up
up
there,
weather,
because
puppy.
they're going to have 6 more weeks of winter up there, does that mean we're going to have it down here?
From what I've been watching on a combination of meteorologists,
the-
we're going to be a
Where's the
little
Farmer's
above
Almanac?
normal in warmth.
Well, we've
So-
been a lot
No,
below
no, no,
normal
no,
in
12.
cold, so maybe we'll break
Yeah.
even.
Things have changed, and the severe weather is going to increase, but for the middle of the country. So that's what they're saying. So,
Okay, if I got any former pilots, prior pilots of military that flew,
Jerry,
helicopters.
let
You
me
got any,
see.
got
Let
any,
me-
got any
yes.
chopper pilots out
Yes,
there?
I
want to talk
do.
to
Let,
you.
let me.
'Cause I know what it's like riding in those things. I've never flown them, but I tell you, I didn't have a whole lot of visibility around me. But I want to clear up the crash avoidance systems or whatever their name is for it, whether they have them on their planes or not, on their military planes, the helicopters. So
I know the commander of the Marine Corps Air Station. He was commander at one time.
did he
was a
fly a
helicopter.
helicopter?
Yes, he
Okay.
did. I'm contacting him right now.
Yeah, tell me we want to talk. The windy conditions we've been having, and we've had a lot of wind, which has really dried out a lot of stuff, especially up in the mountain areas, right? It's posing a threat across portions of North Carolina for wildfires already in the western part, and out of control wildfire burning in western North Carolina. Residents to leave their homes. It's in McDowell County. Initial reports say that a tree was blown down across a power line and it caused the fire. Conditions in the region are kind of dry right now, creating conditions spread rapidly with the high winds. And, that's something we'll have to worry about around here too. We got a lot of dead wood, a lot of, winter type dead
Right,
stuff. And
right.
we got, and up in the forests, we got to look out for it. Initial residents in the area are being told that should an evacuation order be given, they should have emergency supplies already packed up, and they should get out immediately, no delay. Now you've got something.
Yes, on Sunday in that town I can't pronounce where
Pump
Mr.
some seat,
Groundhog
whatever.
was. Whatever, yes, that one. It's supposed to be overcast and 39 degrees.
Okay, good.
We may have a chance that he won't see a shadow.
He'll have his woolly jacket on, so he'll be okay. 39 degrees.
So let's hope.
Well, that fire is in McDowell County right now, and they're talking about evacuating a whole bunch of
They've
people.
already done some, but
Now,
they got a bunch.
I
of
have
people on
decided
alert.
that trip I was thinking about taking to the mountains again, I'm not going.
We're
We're going to wait till about June.
You certainly picked the right times
April,
not
May.
to go, don't you?
Well, I learned
But
my
you go
lesson.
anyway.
No, I learned my lesson. I'm just going to have to fly my granddaughter home. Just take the bus, take the plane, take your car, come
She
home.
just got back there, did she?
It's not been that long. Yeah. She's. I swear.
Is she homesick already?
She was homesick the first day she went to college
Oh well,
because we know she missed her grandma.
She missed her grandma buying her stuff. That's what that is.
Grandma still does.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's somebody
Oh, I
been around
understand.
that block a
The
couple times.
invention of Venmo. But she won't ever ask for it. I just send it.
She just hints at it.
No, she never
Oh God,
does. That's
you know
one
that
thing
thing
about
that you
that
bought me
child.
last year? It broke, and I got.
She never hints at it. She never
I'm just
asks.
kidding. If she's listening, she
But-
doesn't listen to us, does she?
Probably not
Okay.
this morning. She's probably still in bed
Well, she doesn't have an 8 o'clock class.
at 9:30.
Oh, why heavens!
Yeah,
The day's half over by then.
yeah. Hey, college kids, you know how it is.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yep, she's a
Um,
good girl.
Well, Lee,
Mm-hmm.
because you're our resident watch political stuff.
Oh, I
person.
watched it for 10
How was it
hours
yesterday? How was the
I heard a
grilling?
rumor.
I don't know. Is that the word I would use?
Yeah, drilling.
The-
probably.
Grilling. It was
Uh,
a fight fest. Elizabeth Warren, if I could
just
have
don't
reached
like
in
her.
there,
Yeah.
her and of course our favorite from Hawaii,
Oh, that lady.
and a couple. When they ask RFK a question,
Mhm.
it's not a question; it's an accusation,
Okay.
and it's like answer yes or no. Well, there's a lot of questions you just can't say yes
Correct.
or
So
no.
I agree
many,
with that
so
statement.
many of these people
Yeah.
think they're prosecutors. Yeah, they
Yeah.
really do.
She would start screaming at him, and he's trying to talk, and he has affliction with his voice anyway,
Yeah.
and so you have to really listen to understand what he's saying, but you can't because
Well,
the Democrats are yelling at him.
I don't like him. I don't dislike him, but I don't like him. So, and if I were in his shoes, I would give her the New York salute.
Well, I'll tell you
Since
what.
my voice is
Had I been sitting there-
they'd hear that one loud and clear, wouldn't they?
Well, they
And
were
then-
shouting at it. First, people
They were
were
shouting.
Yes.
cheering him coming in.
Oh, there were some
There's some
protesters.
hecklers. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I do know that.
When they asked him if he was a conspiracy theorist, before he could even answer, some protesters in the back of the room, because when he said no, and then could not expound on it, protesters in the back room were going, you lie, and they were throwing people out. And then they threatened one more outburst. We're stopping the hearing. And of course, there was another outburst, but they continued. But it was back and forth, and with his voice, because it's hard to hear him
Mhm.
clearly, and whoever's questioning him yelling, the whole thing was like, this is ridiculous.
Well,
Okay,
why not make it?
Let's take a real quick pause here for just
Okay.
a second.
All right.
And maybe I don't have him bunched up, but anyway, they're having their news briefing right now.
Oh,
And
okay.
they got
Let's do that.
the newly appointed gentleman. Okay, but I guess I can't. They won't let me.
You
I
have
was going
your-
to try to steal a quick chunk of audio from there, but it's not working out too well for me.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see if there's any other ways
pull it up on
around
my
it.
phone and play it in the microphone.
Yes,
Got
very
it.
interesting.
Let me find.
Got it.
Flight pattern is seen oftentimes when you live in DC. This is the standard flight pattern last night as well. The American airline flight coming into land was in a standard flight pattern as it was coming into DCA. So this was not unusual with a military aircraft flying the river and aircraft landing at DCA. And again, if you live in the area, you'll see that frequently with those two aircraft working together. As many of you have reported, we have located the the two aircrafts. The fuselage of the American airline plane was inverted. It's been located in 3 different sections. It's in about waist deep. So that recovery is going to go on today as that recovery takes place of the fuselage of the aircraft. NTSB is going to start to analyze that aircraft, partner with the FAA with all of the information we have to get the best results possible for the American people. I would just say that safety is our expectation. Everyone who flies in American skies expects that we fly safely, that when you depart an airport, you get to your destination. That last night. And I know that President Trump, his administration, the FAA, the DOT, we will not rest until we have answers for the families and for the flying public.
This is Sean Duffy, Secretary of Transportation.
You're safe. Thank you.
Okay, he was wrapping up there. And they have others. So they're parading up there too for just a minute or so. Let Liz.
Today,
Not sure who this is. I'll find out.
Fire Chief Bonnet from the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority.
Okay.
And I'm John Donnelly, Chief of the District of Columbia Fire and EMS Department. Last night at 8:48, the control tower sounded an alert, which alerts responders to respond to a report of an aircraft crash on or near the airport. That sets off an immediate response from the Airport Authority Fire Department, from the District of Columbia and Metropolitan Harbor Patrol fire boats and other fire boats on the river in order to support that type of operation. Very quickly, this call escalated. It became apparent, the responders realized that they had a plane crash and immediately escalated to a response that ultimately included about 300 people last night. These responders found extremely frigid conditions. They found heavy wind. They found ice on the water, and they're operated all night in those conditions. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the agencies that responded in addition to DC Fire.
Okay, there were a lot of agencies. They came from Virginia,
Yes.
of course, the DC and the Metro stuff, and Maryland.
Yes.
Baltimore had a huge presence
The
there.
military, the base in
And-
Virginia sent divers.
Yeah, and there were divers. Of
Yes.
course, they have the dive teams too with law enforcement there. So
We could have sent you, Rayford.
no, we couldn't.
That would have been something.
No, we couldn't. Not anymore. I've done enough of that, and I didn't do much, but I've done enough of it, and I don't need to do anymore. If anybody ever wants to think about some of the post-traumatic stuff that happens with people who do respond to situations like that, it's heart-rendering. It's tough to explain. It's hard because you're having to do a job, and it matters to you that what you're seeing and what you're recovering and what you're assisting to do, it matters to the individuals there. And yes, they take it home with them.
Right. Oh,
And
yes.
for a long time, they take it home with them. And something like this is just, you look at it and say, this is just a waste. And it's such a waste of humans. And these people had relatives.
Right.
They had relatives on the ground in Washington waiting for them.
Yes.
They were only 400 feet in the air
2,000 feet from the runway.
coming
Yeah.
down
Mhm.
when this helicopter pops up.
Right.
And by the time the helicopter and the plane got together, they were about 200 feet in the
Mhm.
air. And then it comes there's no time. And a lot of crashes, you're up there at 30,000 feet on a big airliner and then all the engines quit, you're going to crash. But there's some time and there's plenty of time for panic. There was no time for any panic last night.
No,
There was no
it
time to
instant.
get right with God. There was
Right.
no time for anything
Mm-mm.
last night. It's all instantaneous. That's it. I hate to put it like it's faster than a speeding bullet. Okay,
Right.
we got a caller. Good morning. I'm sorry to ramble on. Who's this?
Hey, guys, it's Charlie. Very quick question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I Googled how many illegals have entered the United States of America under Biden's administration. How many, what do you think Google said?
First of all, they're not going to know because they can't count them all because they don't know, but they're going to guess probably somewhere around 6 or 7 million.
No, good guess. 7.2 million illegals have entered.
Those are the ones
that
they've
was in
tracked.
February.
Yeah.
What's that?
Those are the ones that they tracked. They accounted for those.
I bet it's higher.
There are others that came in.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think all the people that are, what's the guy's name? Human or Haman? The guy that's in charge of the board?
Homan?
Okay.
Homan, whatever.
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah, he did a great interview. And they asked him about the people in this country. He said all of them are illegal. Do you agree that every single person in the last 4 or 5 years that have come across the border from, like, you know, let's say San Diego to California, all of them are illegal, correct?
Are they illegals?
Yes.
If they came in, they did not have a passport and they did not check in with the
visa,
proper
any of
folks
it, yeah.
or a visitor's visa or whatever, or work visas to come in here, they are classified as illegals. Now, what does that mean? Here's the problem. A lot of them, they came across, and the Border Patrol guys at that point in time, they were under guidelines. Just bring them in and, try to run them through a process. And unless you find something really wrong with them, they can stay. Now, does that make them illegal? When the president of the United States has told the Border Patrol that they should let these people come in, does that mean that they are illegal?
Yeah.
There's your dilemma. That's my dilemma.
I say yes.
No, it doesn't. The president has given an order.
He didn't order them citizens.
He did. They don't have to be citizens. They can still be in this country and not be a citizen. You can come in legally to this country. Many people do it. It takes 10 years to get your citizenship.
Well, I agree with that, but most of those people come in through a process.
I understand
They either
that.
walk through, when I lived in San Diego, right there at Tijuana, there's you walk through it.
Yeah.
It's like a gate. You go through, there's a building, you show your ID, you do whatever. Why would you not just
The bottom line here with Charlie's question is, Charlie, it's a tough thing to deal with because and now you got to clean up somebody else's crap.
Okay. But I think what Charlie's saying, and I think they didn't go through the process in terms when my great grandparents came here from Ireland, okay, they came
They paid homage at
the
Ellis Island,
legally,
right?
yes.
Okay, that's the way it was.
They did it the legal way.
Sure.
The way you're supposed to do it. And even current family members that moved over here from Ireland, they did it still the legal way. They applied for residence, they did all that stuff. They weren't sneaking across the border down in Texas.
They should have sneaked across. They could have been given welfare and free insurance and a driver's license.
That's just BS.
No, they do. They get it.
Oh, I know they do.
Charlie, I'm not picking on you, but no, they're not legal.
They're not legal.
Not by the strict definition, but they've been granted basically immunity to come into this country, and now we're taking it away from them.
As it should be.
Can I say something?
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Hey, isn't it really cool how I kept my mouth shut and I didn't interrupt any of you guys? I listened to you guys.
Impressive.
It's really funny. I'm trying to change and listen to people. No, all of you guys made great, solid points. I didn't interrupt you. No, I wanted to learn from you guys. So each of you said something that educated me. I think there are people that have wanted to enter this country for the last maybe 10 years. They're trying to do it with lawyers. They can't get into this country. But if you just show up at the border, yeah, come on in.
Yes.
We're going to welcome you.
True. Sadly, yes, true.
That's the dilemma that
I will say, here's what I will say. Here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to get rid of all these hardcore gangbangers, all these people that are murderers or child molesters. They're going to get rid of all of them. And then I think what's going to happen next, I think they're going to go after the 5 or 10 or 11 million people that have entered this country illegally under Biden's administration, and they're going to take them, they're going to send them back. Do you agree with that?
that is the goal.
I think that's
I will
the goal.
tell you that,
Yeah.
that there's not. I don't have to think
But
it. That's
there's a
what
lot
they've
of
said.
great people. There's a lot of great people that shouldn't be sent back. And so I'm not sure how you determine that. Because listen, these are people. Yeah, listen. You know what? Go ahead. I want to hear your explanation. Go ahead.
It's not an explanation, but here's what I would do. If you want that, here's the way I would handle it. I would go through all of these people that did come through illegally even though Biden said, come on in.
Okay.
I would go through those individuals one at a time and quickly decide whether they are worth keeping. Sometimes you got to throw back the fish that are not worth keeping. You understand? If they're not worth keeping, if they're just going to be a burden on our society, in other words, my pocketbook, if they're going to not provide anything for us, but all they want to do is do something to us, then they got to go. I don't care who they are. They got to go. Now, if they're nice people and they can offer something, working, whatever, provide something to earn your keep, cool. Work your way towards citizenship. We'll give you 5 years to get it. If you don't get it within 5 years, goodbye.
So I'd like to hear what your ladies. I'd like to hear what Lee has to say. I love Lee. Really like Lee. So Lee, what is your opinion
On sending everyone back? I think that there's so many, we don't know who was vetted legally, who was not vetted. And if you've got nothing to show that you came into this country legally, then I say send everyone back. And if you want to apply for status to come in legally, then you're just going to have to do that. We have no way of knowing this person might be a member or something. You know, what can you do? Is if you didn't come in properly, then you should go back and then start the process legally. Now, I know I was watching a woman yesterday that she came in illegally, and she's been working as a housekeeper and doing everything right, except for the fact she did not obtain legal status. And she was crying. She was upset. I felt for her. I really did. My heart went out to her. But you can't sit there and determine who's good and who's bad. If you came in illegally, go back.
Does she pay her taxes?
No, I imagine not. I imagine
Duh.
she's worked. That's what I'm saying. She came in illegally. And I do understand she came to this country because she wanted to make a better life for herself. But she's got to do it right.
So let me ask you guys this: do you think that the so-called I don't know if it's been 2 million or 10 million people that, first of all these people that have entered this country under the Democrats, they don't care about these people. They just want their vote. Do you think that all of them should be deported and basically just being deported? That's it.
Okay, I think that's what we just answered. But you're talking about, do you think that the reason that the Democrats or the liberal leaning side, there are going to be a lot of Republicans there that will agree with it. Okay, they're in here. Let's just let them stay here. I don't know.
They were only brought into this country because they wanted to vote.
Okay, well, here's the problem.
They're socialist. No, listen. Joe Biden doesn't care about the people that have entered this country in the last 4 or 5 years. He's never sat down and prayed with his wife, Dr. Jill Biden. And by the way, she's not a doctor, so we'll play that game.
She's a
They
doctor of
don't care
education.
about these people. They just want the vote. Correct? They want to go to first of all, I don't even think Joe Biden was in charge. I think Barack Obama and his henchmen, ladies were in charge.
I'll agree. Let me address that voting thing for just a second. Unfortunately, some places, local jurisdictions like a city, even a state, can say that these illegals who are here, we're going to let them vote in the local city council race because they can do that. They cannot vote in the federal elections. They cannot vote for a national. They can't vote for the president. They can't vote in the state, in the U.S. Senate or House Representatives seats. They can't vote for those people. They can't vote in any federal election for federal candidates. Even if the city of Los Angeles, for instance, says, okay, Jose, you can vote for the city council in the city council race here. But that's all they get jurisdiction to do. Until they become a citizen, then they can apply. Once they're a citizen, then they can they've earned their right to vote, and they can apply for they can file for office or file for to be able to vote. That's the way that works.
Okay, so I agree with that.
Yep. Okay. Now,
Well,
unfortunately, some of them are slipping through.
I don't want to get all over the place, but can I ask one last thing about how Joe Biden pardoned so many people in the last hour of his presidency?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like how you're laughing.
It is a big joke, isn't it?
Well, it's not a joke, but isn't it bizarre? I forgot. Didn't the DOJ or what's that guy that was in charge of the FBI? They wanted to investigate Joe Biden and his family, but he said he's not competent. Who was that guy?
That was I don't think it was the FBI. It was somebody. Wasn't it Merrick Garland?
I think you're right. Okay. They basically said, "Listen, we'd like to prosecute him, but hey, listen, his brain just isn't there."
Yeah.
So that makes sense, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So if his brain wasn't there for him to go after him with regards to things that he did, how is his brain there for him to pardon all these people?
How is his brain there to get up and sign pieces of paper for anything as the president of the United States, the most powerful, arguably the most powerful man in the world? How is his brain capable of running the country after somebody like the Attorney General declared him incompetent to stand trial?
That's what it was, the Attorney General. Hey, one last thing. First of all, I'm going to say this. I love your program. You guys are the best show ever. I have no clue why you don't have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 viewers. You guys have the best. I love your show. I'm obsessed with what you guys do.
Well, I do appreciate that.
You could be our PR
I do
agent.
appreciate that. Here's the problem. If we had any more viewers, if we had any more listeners, I would have to dress for the occasion. Now, I've got a tuxedo up there, but I don't want to do that every day. You understand?
Yeah, I don't get it. I really love your program.
I don't get it either.
I don't think I have any more to add to this day's production of your show.
Okay.
So you guys have a good day. Take care.
Thanks, Charlie. You
Bye.
too. He's a character.
He's a character. I like Charlie.
I do.
Sometimes we get off on the wrong foot from one time, but just disagreeing doesn't mean I don't like you.
Well, Charlie lives on the other side of the world and he listens to us. He calls
You mean
in. And,
up in where, Maysville?
that strange place called California. At least that's where we think he lives.
Oh,
So
that's where
that's another world
He's
over
hinted
there.
at, but he's also hinted
It's
at his name is not
another
Charlie,
world.
and he may be here and may be there. It's okay. I don't care where he is.
Right. Right.
As long as I don't get an intercept operator that says, "Will you accept this collect call from the Los Angeles County
Miller
Jail?"
time. It's Miller time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If I drank beer, I'd probably want one right about now, wouldn't you?
Good morning, Chris.
I need a wake up call. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning?
We're doing good.
The voice of reason in the sports world, anyway, right?
Oh.
Yeah, well, we can't get you any beer, Rafer, but we can definitely find some cookies. How about that?
Find some what?
Some cookies.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
I talked to a gentleman yesterday who has his wife is competing with him now in the bakery division, and I understand that some cookies may be en route. And if they have peanut butter, I will be tasting every one that comes in here before I give it to Kelly, because she can't have peanut butter. No, he's not going to bring. He says there are no nuts in his. The nuts are all in here.
Don't forget Girl Scout cookies.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Staying away from them.
Oh boy, I'd like to have some of those mints right now.
Yes,
My
those are my
God.
favorite.
Back when they were 50 cents a box,
Yeah.
I bought $20 worth one
Yeah,
year.
back when
I
they
said,
were-
"Here,
what are they
give me
now?"
some. I can eat for a week on these."
$15 a box. I don't know. What are they? Kelly, you-
They are $7 a box, I think now.
I think they used to be $3.50, $4
Mhm.
for the longest
Yeah.
time.
They were
Yeah, you're right.
7
they
now.
were 50 cents a box back in the 60s and early 70s,
Mhm.
because that's when I bought them, stocked up on them, put them in the freezer. Those chocolate.
and those were so good to take a couple out at a time. Mhm.
Especially if you got some chocolate ice cream to go with them.
Mm.
Okay, now we're hungry again. Dadgubbit.
Every day I leave here hungry.
Okay, they started practicing. It's not too hot. Why
I knew
can't they
you
get
could
out there on the
answer.
field and get ready for it?
I knew you.
I know you're just itching for some football,
I'm missing it.
and it's going to feel weird. No
$6
football
then.
this weekend because the Super Bowl is next weekend. So it's going to be weird.
It's
first
okay.
weekend without football in quite some time. So
Well,
I guess all the husbands across the world are returning back to the real world. I guess.
No, I'm in the real world all the time because I don't watch sports on TV. Almost never, ever, never.
Oh my goodness.
What?
I can't believe that.
Why?
Kelly and I do. We're big
Well,
sports.
good. You can look at it. You can have my share. Split it.
I love sports. Sometimes watching sports is better than watching
I didn't say anything about news.
some of these dumb shows that are
I've
on
got
TV.
every episode of Frasier that I can watch, and I
love
have started.
Frasier.
So
Yes.
again, most of them I don't remember from the first go around. But anyway, little things like that I've got available.
Ooh.
So anyway, so no football practice this weekend or next week.
No football, but we are. Can you believe it? We only have a few weeks left in the high school basketball regular season. I did watch both Jacksonville, the boys and girls teams defeated North last night. So good efforts by by y'all's Cardinals last night. So both teams are playing well. Both Jacksonville teams are playing well.
Yay.
And, and really were impressive last night. So we'll see how they continue to do. But yeah, before you know it, we'll start talking about baseball and softball and girls soccer, and practices for spring sports start February 12th. So it'll be here right before we know it.
Okay, so the football team cannot practice for next year. Can't get ready now, right? They can't do it. I can't get ready for next year.
They have to try
Well,
out
the
for
basketball. I think cheerleading is a little different. They don't. I think they do their tryouts and stuff like in the spring or before school ends, and then they kind of spend the summertime doing what they need to do, training and practicing their routines and things like that to get ready for the fall season. If you're a football team, the coaches are getting these kids in the weight room and making sure they're bulking up and getting stronger and faster. You're not allowed to officially have practice, but you can have involuntary workouts again in the room and on the field, on the track, things like that. They are permitted to have a spring practice for a week during the spring season, and when they decide to do that is kind of coach's discretion. But they'll do that once it kind of starts warming up. But again, it's all involuntary. You're not going to get punished. A lot of these kids, football players, will play other sports, wrestle, play basketball, baseball, or whatever. So lacrosse. So they'll, a lot of these football players are still staying active throughout the winter and spring season anyway.
Yeah, what I'd love to see is a quarterback who's a passing expert. He's on the mark all the time. He can slide it right by the people, make a pass, get it through their hands, away from them, and then about 4 good receivers who have glue built into their hands.
Yeah.
Maybe Velcro attached or
Jacksonville?
something. Yeah, Jacksonville. Yeah. We could, just to go ahead and get an edge up in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it does seem like football season got done not too long ago because, it literally got done,
middle of December.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's only been a month.
It was cold.
Yeah, so it's hard to believe that we're only a month and a half out of it. Usually, high school football season gets done Thanksgiving. Maybe a week or two after that if we're lucky. So, it definitely was a long season, and it was a long season, and with this new realignment and everything, I have talked to a few coaches about
6A,
some of the schedules for next year, and I think for the last 20 years or so, Jacksonville and Southwest have played each other the first game of the season.
Sure.
But with different realignment and different schedules for this year, Jacksonville is actually going to open up next season with the West Carteret.
Oh, really?
Southwest is going to open up against Aiden Griffin. So it's kind of neat to have different schedules. I think we've had the same schedule for the last umpteen years. So it's going to be fun when kind of seeing maybe some different schedules and things like that. So it's I'm looking forward to it, but also looking forward to the winter season concluding for playoffs and wrestling, and then we'll start getting cracking with the baseball and other spring sports.
Well,
we've got another one starting up Saturday night. Another sport.
what?
NASCAR. It's the Clash
That's not
Heat
a
Race
sport.
1
That's a
out
crash.
of Winston-Salem.
That's an out of control crash.
You don't watch sports, so hush.
And that's what, speaking of NASCAR is like hockey. I swear that I think they take 2 weeks off and then they restart. So
I know it.
NASCAR is a long season. They start in February and get done in
November.
In November, and then they'll start here. So I think they start a week after the Super Bowl with the Daytona 500.
Yes.
And, in hockey, they start in October, and then their championship Stanley Cup doesn't get done until June, and then they'll take 2 weeks off, and then they'll start playing their preseason games again. So that's what it seems like. So it's but then football, we have to wait 6 months before.
No, it's just wrong.
Hey, Chris, do you think that I've got a couple of broadcast FM transmitters out here? Seriously, literally, I do. Do you think that if I put up an antenna and put those things up, that NASCAR would let me carry the races and I could charge for sell advertising for it?
No, I don't know.
Still
I
have
mean,
my NASCAR jacket.
No, I have heard. I've never been to a NASCAR race. I've been to a Carolina Hurricanes hockey game several years ago. My wife and I went to a game, and but I heard that a lot of people don't like watching NASCAR on TV because they feel like you're just going in circles. But I've heard that if you're at a NASCAR race, an actual race,
Totally different.
there, it is quite an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I've been over to Carteret County to that speedway, and I've seen some really cool drivers driving.
Oh yeah.
And it's not just one race too. It's it's a bunch of stuff. You can stay all day long. And
It's just a sport you have to like.
And you can also, I like it in person. You don't understand me. I like a lot of sports in person. It would be like watching diving on TV for
Go
me.
to a
Not
big
gonna
track
happen.
like Talladega.
I want to be in the water or to go diving. I don't want to watch it on the boob tube. All right.
Right,
And
right.
I would like to watch, if I'm going to watch racing or football or anything else, I want to be there. I want to smell it and I want to feel it.
I like to go to the races and be there in person. We would go and camp out in the infield, but watching it on TV, if you're a huge enthusiast, you can know what's going on at all times.
tell you
If
what.
you're out there watching it, you don't know.
I used to work with a guy that was a huge fan. He
Right.
couldn't go to many races. He did one every couple of years or so.
Right.
But even on the job on Saturdays when he was an electrician and I was the electrician's helper at the time, he had that radio going
Mm-hmm.
and he was listening to him and he was dedicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I used to be real dedicated, but they've had so many changes over the years. And then my favorite driver retired and this other one retired. And it's just a lot of young drivers coming up now, but I still enjoy it and follow not as much as I used to.
I got excited listening to the race with him
Right.
because he got excited and you had announcers that could describe what was actually going on, not people to say, yeah, but look at it going around and around and around. No, they
Well, this
actually
guy-
knew the race and they knew what was going
Yes,
on. They could
yes.
talk to me and I could see the race.
And see, that's a
on
good
radio.
thing about if you're actually watching it on TV, they explain all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you might have a wreck and turn 4, you don't know who caused it or whatever. You just have to wait. But if you're watching it on TV, they're telling you exactly, and they're replaying it 100 times,
Oh, yeah.
So
you go for the
it's
wrecks.
it's
Okay,
advantages
forget about
on
it.
both sides. Go ahead,
Now,
Kelly.
Chris,
Rafer, we gotta get you to go to our wrestling event. A WWE wrestling event.
Next time they come to Greenville,
all right, Chris, Lee has a question for you.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I have a question from a listener. Natural Light Chris Marks wants to know what Miller time Chris Miller thinks about Super Bowls being played in controlled atmospheres.
Oh, in controlled.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I guess in indoor stadiums.
Yeah, and they're wearing
Yes.
pink shoes too.
Pink
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
don't-
about pink shoes.
I've never really given that any thought. I remember the Super Bowl one year was played in New York City, in New York, and they were concerned about that. And to me, I don't really have a preference. I know a lot of those Super Bowls will be played indoors, in the domes and on some of the colder weather places. They do play in the outdoor stadiums like Florida and places like that. But I don't really have a preference. I just hope for a good game, and I know we have some Eagles fans out there that are excited for their Eagles, and then you have some Chiefs fans out there that are hoping their team wins a third straight Super Bowl, and then you have Panther fans like me that are just hoping that maybe we can get back to the Super Bowl one day. So I just hope for a good game, and hopefully it will be a good game next week.
Well, we'll wait and see. All right, Chris, thank you, sir. We do appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, you take care. Okay, we got a little bit of an update going on here. They've recovered. How many bodies have they recovered now from
We
the
just saw
crash?
30.
About 30 bodies.
Mhm.
They got one from the helicopter. One of the three on board. Okay, there's nothing new there, but they have started recovering the bodies. There's a lot of action
Yes.
out there right now. And if it's true, which it likely is true, that many of them were strapped in their seats, that's it. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, you figured they were already strapped in, getting prepared to land. So
Mhm.
it's just drowning and fires. I tell you, those are two I fear the most.
Yeah,
But I'm sure a lot of them were probably upon impact.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were going 140 miles an hour when
Yeah.
they hit.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
Which
We'll
is
be
paranormal.
hearing about this
Yeah.
all day long. It'll just take over the news. And
The airport's closed till 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. They
did they
announced
do that
this morning.
again? Okay, they
They
changed it.
originally said
They originally said 5 a.m. tomorrow. Then last night they said it was going to be open perhaps today at 11
this
o'clock.
they
morning.
said
So now we're
that
going
5
back to
a.m. tomorrow now.
Yeah, they're back to being at 5 a.m.
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
There we go.
I think it's Charlie again. Drew made a comment, and he was talking about the past U.S. figure skating team
Mhm.
and their families were on the plane. Yeah, we discussed that earlier, Drew. It's
Yeah.
so sad.
That is very sad.
Very sad.
All right, Charlie, this is about three calls. Go ahead.
Is it Charlie?
I like how you immediately assume that it's Charlie calling.
I don't assume it. I know it for a fact.
Yeah, we know it. We see it.
Well, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
It's
Okay.
because of the caller ID.
You got something to hide?
Yeah.
No, I have nothing to hide.
Okay.
Hey, do you guys remember how I called in yesterday and I told you about how I have a lawyer in the Las Vegas case?
Yes.
Oh, you got a lawyer.
Did you guys ever? Do you remember how many times I told you this guy was arrested?
Yeah, like 82 or something. Yeah.
Right.
But doesn't that kind of blow your mind away? Think about it. It was actually 81 times.
Still 81 too many, but okay.
You need to get Alan Jackson out of California.
The singer?
I just
He's
think it's
good.
a
Yeah, the
drug.
singer?
Listen,
Yeah.
No, he's a lawyer.
What's that?
She
Alan
said
Jackson.
Alan Jackson. Raven and I over here thinking about the country singer.
I thought
I
it
didn't even
was
think about that when I said,
Yeah.
he's a lawyer out of California. He's huge. He's big. I bet he'd take it
Yeah,
away.
81 times is a lot. I mean, listen.
Mhm.
I'm not like a but I don't think I've done 81 horrific infractions to be arrested. I mean, I returned something to Target. So, let me ask you a question.
Here we
So
go.
you guys are what Human is doing, right? With deporting the illegals?
Tom Holman.
He's
Yes.
carrying out the president's orders.
I think he's cool.
That's cool. Good stuff. I've got nothing to add. I love your show. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, Charlie.
You
Bye.
too. You too. Oh, I have a little bit of trivia for you.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find so I get it right. The gentleman who's the president and chief executive officer of the Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority,
Uh-huh.
John Potter, used to be my boss.
Really?
He used to be the postmaster general back in 2001, 2010.
So he delivered mail and then became the boss of the
he
mail.
was the one
and
that
then-
was always sending us the nasty emails. You
and-
better get it out.
and now he's in charge of the airport?
Yeah, it says
Wow.
2011, I think it was. Yeah, he took over in 2011, but
Well, good
he
man.
used to be my
Get
boss.
him you got his number?
I'm no. No. I don't.
Okay.
No, just some trivia.
I'm still looking for a current or prior military helicopter pilot.
Yes, I
wanna
sent
talk to
Jerry a
somebody.
message, and if I can't get him to call today, I'll make arrangements for him.
I got
call
one I could talk to,
tomorrow.
but he won't. I don't want to because he's.
Yeah,
he's
he
one
was
of
in
them.
charge of the air station at one time. So, and he
Jerry was.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know who I'm
I
talking.
know who he is.
Yes.
He likes to fish too.
He likes to golf.
He likes to fish.
He's a huge golfer. He goes to all these big tournaments overseas, everywhere.
No,
He's a huge golfer.
Well, I want to talk about something Lee
He
and I,
must go to
Lee and
Scotland,
I
then.
like to talk about.
Yes.
We like to talk about bras and government meetings.
Oh, girl, tell the story.
And Lee sent us a video yesterday, and I just pulled it back up.
Tell
And I
the
wanted to
story.
I like it. It's fun.
So we know that Tiffany, that Henyard, is that Dalton, Illinois mayor who that Lori Lightfoot even was hired to do an investigation on, found this woman spending all kinds of money,
Yep.
which, we knew the Dalton, Illinois town people just don't like this lady. So apparently on Tuesday night, there was a board meeting and some activist named Jedediah Brown
no, Ken.
had some strong words for her. And he was talking about the finding of Lori Lightfoot's investigation because a report was presented to the village board Monday night. And the report alleged that there was a huge pattern of deception and mismanagement of funds by the mayor, which people had already suspected, which is why the town hired Lori Lightfoot to come and look, where's our money going? So this guy, Jedediah, says, I'm going to bleep out the cuss words,
Good.
but you've been a half blank
Buddy.
mayor. But if you wanted to get up here and earn some respect, then you should have been able to respond to Lori Lightfoot's report about credit cards. You want to talk about them not coming to work, but we've been hearing what you've been doing while you've been at work. And then he says, this is during public comment, by the way.
Uh-huh.
And he says, and I'm going to give away the rest of my time because I think on behalf of the Black Cookout Association that we better take a vote. That we're going to exchange your black blank for Stephanie to be the newer member. So all those against it say nay. All those in favor say aye.
And that's when the fight started.
So then, the fight started when he said,
That's
you
how I
gon' be.
Oh,
And the boyfriend of the mayor jumped into the fray and started throwing punches at this Mr. Brown. So then they're fighting. Then she had been seated behind some kind of table in the front of the room listening. She runs over and she gets in the fray. So they're all, there's a video. Lee, this video is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
It's not,
did
but it
everybody
is.
go to jail?
I don't know that any of them, it
See, that's
doesn't
wrong.
say no one
It
got
was a
arrested.
scrap out.
It should have been engaging in an afraid. Open up all the cells. We got a whole.
And I
bunch.
thought some of our meetings in Onslow County had been bad, but this one
Well,
takes
one of the
cake.
witnesses who was a town folk, said, look, it was one thing when the guys were fighting, but when she jumped in it, I was taken aback. She's like, I was floored. We got the mayor on their fight. So then law enforcement runs in and they're trying to break up the fray.
There's some wigs flying.
Apparently
out.
what had happened was the meeting was already gotten tense prior to this guy getting up and calling her a B and telling her you gone and all this stuff, because the board voted to place whoever Woods in and another guy on leave without pay and hire auditors, because now they were talking about Woods is her boyfriend. Okay, so they voted to put her boyfriend and another guy on leave without pay because they were looking into the management of the at-risk youth program. They're like, basically, where's the money? Because there's no receipts for just about anything.
Well, duh.
So that has started it. And then the video is hilarious. It's sad.
Right.
But Lee and I are always looking at videos of like government meetings where
It
people
started-
act a fool.
Why do you even go watch any sports or anything else on TV? You can watch this. You do that. It's
It don't
probably more
happen often
fun.
enough, sadly. But
Oh.
yeah,
It
I
all
love
started
this.
with Loudon.
Yeah, Loudon
Virginia.
County's when it
Yeah,
started. Y'all know
Loudon
I love
County.
Loudon
It is.
County.
That's the first one we
I
heard
love
about.
Loudon
Kelly
County.
was fascinated with Loudon
It
County.
was
They
spread.
just acted
Spread,
out
yeah.
all the time. So anyway, the saga of Little Mayor Tiffany Henyard continues.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, when back in the day on Court Street and whatever,
Yeah.
when the guys would come out and they'd get into a big old fight, the
Correct.
first thing they did, they ripped the shirts off.
Yeah.
Did the women do that?
The first thing women do is take their earrings out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna
A lot
tell
of
you
guys
what.
today would
Because
have to
that
do
hurts
that too. But
if you get your
Kelly
earring
knows
ripped.
what I'm talking about. There was a Republican convention 3-4 years ago where it got heated, and I was expecting the earrings and the shoes to come off
The
because
shoes did come off, I thought, but the earring did not.
yeah,
I think. Or it might have been vice versa.
but you know what? It was
Yeah.
the best convention ever.
But yeah, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Oh.
it's entertaining. Sometimes, look, sometimes you just have to have that little bit of entertaining. But Leah and I, we just like to watch these. And she sent me that video last night. I was like, oh, man. That's one we watched was the one that took place. It wasn't Duplin County. It was
Pink
was
Yeah.
it was Pink Hill Board.
Oh.
Yeah, Pink Hill Board.
They were
County
slamming doors.
commissioners. They
People
acted
getting
a
up,
fool.
getting
Yeah.
up, leaving, and
And it was on
just-
tape. On
Yes,
video?
it's a whole video on
Wow.
YouTube about that.
That's
Yeah.
what I told you. Just sit around and wait because something tragic can happen 5 minutes from
Okay,
now.
here's what we're going to have to do then. I guess we'll line the walls. In
Yeah,
here
we
with
need like
more
a whole bunch of
monitors than we
TV
have.
screens. Yes.
And we
I
will
tell
just
you.
we'll do a quad split. We can have
Yes.
4 different places at one time. We can watch live all the
Yes.
time.
I'm gonna
Because
tell you what. I just bought a
I could do
TV.
recorders. The computers could record it, and we could have instant replays and slow mo it.
I mean, it's.
Watch the blood fly and the hair fall out.
I mean, it's just. Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes!
Wow. I've got something I'm going to bring up local, and I'd like your opinions on it.
Uh-huh.
You remember the old Holiday Inn that was the red carpet inn
Yeah.
before it shut
I remember
down?
when it was a little grocery, the Sartinos.
God, that's going way
In the
back. That was
50s.
before. I just remember it being a Holiday Inn
Yeah, I
because
remember that. Yeah.
we had
the
security
place.
there, and every Friday and Saturday night we had
Yeah.
to walk those stairs.
Yeah.
4 floors.
We'll give you
Um,
more trivia about
But
that.
anyway,
afterwards.
you know, over the years, it's suffered 2 fires. It's been closed down by the city.
Mhm.
And I know I've mentioned it several times about how it was an eyesore. The parking lot is just everything about it is an eyesore. And there was rumors of homeless people living in it, but since then they've boarded up the doors and the walls and the windows and stuff. Well, guess what?
What?
The United Way of Onslow County members want to turn it into transitional housing.
I think it's a good idea.
And
I'm for that.
they said it would help different disadvantaged groups in the community.
Okay,
that
where's
could
the
be
money going to come
homeless.
from?
Well, they're going to have to raise it. Right now, Raquel Painter, who's
Yep.
the president of United Way, she said estimates were coming in at $8 million right now to
So-
renovate it.
They would need grants from somewhere.
Yes, definitely
because
need
if-
grants.
I would hate to see the United Way lose a lot of its funding from individuals.
Right.
If they did that when some organizations that deserve the money
Right.
that they've been supporting have been getting the funds that people contribute
Right.
because it's earmarked for them generally.
Right, exactly. Well, you know,
I-
it could house homeless veterans, people
Yeah,
coming
I
home
understand
after incarcerations.
Uh-huh.
I think it's
Young
a good
adults
idea.
exiting foster care and more. So
That sounds like something that it's going to have a whole lot of stuff coming in. That's a lot of money
it's 111 units.
to make it palatable, to make the place
I just
livable,
wonder if
and have it secure. Because and I'm not going to try to paint everybody with the same brush, but you're going to have an element.
Mhm.
Okay, we've got them
Mhm.
living. Some of them are veterans. We've got people living in the
Yes.
woods. We got people out there with other people,
Right.
and they know it. That's one. They don't.
Right.
don't
Raquel
get
wanted
out
to
there.
talk about it. I have different opinions.
Yeah, you just it's going to have to be something to make sure.
Yeah,
Well, I
it's a lot
think
of
change
work.
has to start somewhere. And
Yes,
I think
it
also
does.
the state is looking to
That's a big
do
bite.
it like a reentry program. The
Right.
state's been really pushing hard on that in general for people that are coming out of prison. Because I think, you've done your time. You don't continue to beat somebody up for the fact they've been in prison.
That's right.
You they've done their time, so move on from it and let them try to be productive members of society. Bottom line, they got to start somewhere. You can't keep holding over somebody's head that has done the time
Mhm.
and is not a repeat offender. I mean, at some point, because otherwise, everybody squawks about change, but then no one wants to be involved in the change.
Huge
So-
huge task.
I
But
think
you
it's
know
a good
what?
idea. That hotel has been vacant for a long time.
It's an
I say we
eyesore.
absolutely
And-
should.
If we can make something out of it, it's Jennifer. If we can make something out of it, then that's a big task United Way's taken on. Good for you.
But there's some state grants I know they can get because I've
Yes.
seen them. I've been in state meetings. They talked
getting
about it.
it $8 million is one thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then you got to
Right.
maintain it.
Then you're going to have to.
Good
It's going to
Lord.
have to have a large amount of money.
Mhm.
And who's going to do it? Who's going to be in charge of it? That's good. Will be the other thing. Jennifer, how are things in Tennessee by the sea?
Oh, things in Tennessee are good up to my ears in reefs, but that is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Getting ready to ship out another proud to be an American reef.
Well, I'm getting ready to reattach one to our wall up here. I've got it over there. I've got the
Yes.
first stage done. I got to do the second stage. The third stage will be taken care of.
I'll tell Rayford we need to steam it and get the ribbons on it a little.
Well, we can do that. We got
Puffed up.
steamers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they should all have wires in them, so you should be
Oh,
able
well,
to
good. I'll
bend
start
them right
working
back
on it.
into shape. But Terry
What is?
said that he cannot believe that none of y'all have ever eaten groundhog.
You tell
I haven't.
Terry I'm going to fight him. You go ahead and tell Terry.
No.
Me and you going to fight. We
He
don't eat
said, "Do you
groundhog.
like salt?"
Yes.
I'm not even getting into
There's
this
groundhog. I
conversation.
know they've got it. I've just never eaten groundhog.
Mm-mm.
I'm with you, Kelly. Let's go for the
And-
Girl Scout
yeah.
He
cookies.
said if they like sausage, that's ground hog.
Oh my Lord, Terry, your
Right.
jokes are as bad as Rayford's. That's how you know they're related, right there. What in the world,
It took me a minute. I was like,
Terry?
What?
Terry.
and then I said, well, I'll have to call them in.
Well, why don't we
Give
let?
him a laugh.
I
no.
want Kelly to repeat the joke for me.
Because Terry is going to now inspire. Terry, you don't understand what you have just done. Rayford, for the rest of the day, is going to be messaging Lee and I with these ridiculous, dumb
You laugh
jokes.
at 'em.
I have a
Some
new
of 'em.
recipe for
That he
men who
comes-
cook.
Yeah, like comes up with
No.
his. Oh my! Because now Rayford is going to be trying to one up Terry on that joke.
Well, would you repeat the joke for me, Kelly?
Do
in
you
your
like
words?
groundhog?
Do I like groundhog?
Do you like sausage?
Well,
we
I-
talked
No, have you
about-
ever eaten groundhog? I'm sorry. You,
you
say
take
no.
hog and grind it up, and
And
it
it's
becomes
ground
sausage.
hog.
Yes.
Lame.
Let me go back and read
Lame.
this story about Girl Scout cookies.
Lame.
While y'all talking.
But Jennifer, you tell Terry he has now just flipped a switch in Rayford.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have to tell him. He's listening
right.
to you. He's
Terry, you're going to owe me big time.
Now,
for
are we
this one
talking about
because
roadkill groundhog or?
She didn't get it.
no.
Lee didn't get it.
She
You
didn't get
didn't
it.
get it.
No, I got it.
That
I
he's
got it.
saying if you eat sausage, which is pig,
Right.
Or
and a pig
hog.
is a hog,
Right.
you're eating ground hog.
Yeah, I got it. It was just like, yeah, okay.
Oh.
I'm going back to the cookies.
Because she already knows what Rayford's going to do. That's what I'm saying. Lee already knows what Rayford's going to do. The
We're
rest
so
of the
used
day.
to Rayford's jokes like
And
that.
y'all just don't
we
know.
got it right
Some of
away.
them, some of them we can't talk about on the air.
Don't kill
But
the messenger.
that's how you know they're related.
Terry,
This is how
have,
you know.
I
Terry.
would have never thought about that. I would have
Oh,
never
no,
thought
Rayford's
about
Terry
man.
that.
started this mess.
But,
Yeah.
you know, Rayford and Terry are cousins. So,
Uh-huh.
you know, that,
Yeah, we do.
there you go. There you go. Well, y'all have a
Okay,
great
no,
day.
Not yet.
Tell Terry thanks,
Huh?
Terry.
What? No, well, just hold on.
Okay.
What did the pig say at the beach on a hot summer day?
Oh, oink, oink. I don't know.
Here we go. What did the beach
I don't
say?
know.
What did
What
the
did the pig say at the beach on a hot summer day?
Ooh-wee.
I'm baking.
Oh, Lord
see, right here. Do y'all see?
Easy.
Terry,
we go.
he has
Got it.
opened a can.
Bye, Terry.
Bye-bye.
So it starts.
Bye, Jennifer.
This is going to be all day long, guys.
Uh-huh.
We're going to be getting ding, 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 ding,
Uh-huh.
ding.
I got
What
27
did I-
of them.
Ground
It's gonna be.
Good Lord.
I'm just
Yes.
reading a story which it's sad but not sad. I mean, sad but good. Is that a thing? One of the figure skaters on the U.S. team missed the flight because they wouldn't let his dog on the plane. They said it was too big.
Oh, boy.
So he had to rent a car and drive it. And posting on Instagram how he was supposed to have been on there, but they said your dog's too big and you can't take it on. And he's like, "Well, I'm
I'd
not
be
leaving my
hugging
dog."
that dog.
And so, so he rented a car and had took pictures of them not allowing him and put it on his Instagram. And he's had a 14-hour journey to drive from Kansas to back to Washington, and he started documenting his drive.
Wow.
Yeah, he just and all he said was he didn't name anybody. He figure skaters.
Wow.
See,
Yeah.
now
He said he wasn't going to name them.
Yeah.
But
There's
his
gonna
name
be-
is John Maravilla. Because when he went to check in, they're like, "Your dog is too big." I don't know what kind of dog this is,
It's a
but
hugging that dog.
I'm telling you, what's a lucky
great,
dog.
a great savior.
Yes, Lord.
Lord have mercy.
It's just
There's
sad,
so many
though.
stories going to come out of this.
'Cause
It's
these are
going to
his
just break all our
teammates.
hearts.
Yeah, this is his teammates.
Yeah.
It's very
Oh
sad.
my gosh.
This apparently the same plane. Good gracious. I'm looking at history going back on that same flight. 19th, 20th, 21st, 21st again. Oh, it made
It flew over North Carolina, they said yesterday, coming from South Carolina or something.
Okay, it made a flight from Reagan to back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This was a daily trip, pretty much a daily
Yeah,
trip.
I looked
Yeah.
up on FlightAware last night, and then it showed Wichita to DC, DC to Wichita,
Yeah,
back
that's
and
what I'm
forth.
getting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing as well.
Yes.
Okay. Get back to where I was here before we do weather. The manhunt for an escaped inmate
They still hadn't found that guy, have
that
they?
wormed his way out of the Craven County Jail sometime Sunday evening or sometime Monday. They don't know which. Published reports say 37-year-old John Nye, with help from a couple of cellmates, was able to remove a grill, a cover, giving him access to a large ventilation network. His partners in crime replaced the cover and stuffed his bed with clothing. Once he got out, they did that to make it look like he was sleeping. And guards did not pick up on that.
Well,
Nye apparently made it to the roof to effect his getaway. Nye was being held on attempted murder charges. He was arrested by Onslow deputy sheriffs last summer when he was found hiding in a home in Hubert. He fired on the deputies. Luckily, no one was hurt. The U.S. Marshal Service has joined the search for the escapee. Nye is about 6 feet tall, weighs 190 pounds. He's white, had a full beard when he was last seen. A tattoo with the letters JMN on his upper left arm and cross tattoo on his upper right arm.
okay, hold up, Raven.
Okay.
Hold up a minute. So you're saying that he took the little ventilation grady thing.
It's a
That's
big, it's
okay,
pretty
but that's
heavy-duty
not
thing,
okay.
but they got it
But
off.
y'all, they didn't hear him clopping around in those things, when he's snaking his way through. 'Cause it's not like he's standing upright. He's, army crawling or whatever through that, I'm assuming. And that usually makes a noise because those things are usually like aluminum or
Depends
whatever.
upon where the jail cell he was in
Mhm.
as it approaches the outside ventilation.
Okay. Okay.
It
But
may
you
not
don't,
be very far. And of course, if it was done in the middle of the night,
yeah, but you still gonna hear clip clopping. You would think. Well,
the jailers are not
Stop.
necessarily right with
You're
him.
right. I hear you.
They're
Okay. Yep. Good. Okay.
going to be doing
I
other
gotcha.
things too.
There'll be some changes there.
So the Craven Sheriff's Office warns that Nye
Right.
should be considered dangerous. You should not confront him. Don't go be a hero.
You said he got to the roof?
Yeah.
Would he jump down? How big is this
I
building?
don't know how. And
And there's no cameras?
and I don't know.
I
They're not
need
going to
look
tell
at
me
that
everything
jail.
yet.
I need
They
to
still
know.
they've still
We
got
need
to secure
somebody-
that
I'm gonna look
cell,
up
that
Craven County
jail.
We need someone from
And
Craven
I'm
County
assuming
to
his
call
little
us.
cellmates are going to be charged with accomplices.
Oh, they'll be. Yes, that's called aiding an
Aiding and
escape.
abetting, yeah.
Aiding an escape is a felony.
They were charged yesterday. with
Uh-huh.
it.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yes.
An internal investigation
dumb
into
are
the
they?
circumstances that played a part in the escape is underway. Yep, and those boys, and they're going to be spending some extra time there, as is this dude when they catch him. Sad news, Duplin County are working on a fire that was discovered at a home about 5 o'clock yesterday morning. 2 bodies were found inside the burning home. The names of the victims not immediately released. They probably will be released this morning. The county fire marshal is handling that investigation. Okay, let's do a little bit of weather again.
Weather.
Offshore. Northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, becoming easterly 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Going to get even calmer this afternoon. This would be the day, if you want to go into the ocean fishing, do it today.
Yes.
Tomorrow, don't do it. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20 tomorrow, increasing to 20 to 25 in the afternoon. Gusts up to 30, seas 5 to 8 feet. 4 to 6 near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy, becoming rough in the afternoon. Much better. Northwesterly winds 10 to 15, becoming northeasterly 15 to 20, with gusts of 25 in the afternoon. 5 to 7 foot seas offshore, subsiding to 3 to 5 in the afternoon. Yeah, don't want to do that. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop, becoming choppy in the afternoon.
Today, mostly sunny, high of 6. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of. Rayford, I just was thinking about what you just said about if you're going to go in the water, today,
fishing today, yeah.
because tomorrow will be not good.
Slop
But
day.
that 74 degrees is going to fool people into thinking it's warm. Let's go.
Well,
Don't do it, folks.
They know the water's going to be cold. The water
'Cause
temperature is
it's-
not going to be any higher
No.
tomorrow than it is today.
And 28 mile an hour
But
gusts.
the winds and the seas are going to make it not bearable.
And gusts on the water is, to me, is colder, but that's just my opinion. Then tomorrow night it is going to rain. The low will be 48, and it will be 22 mile an hour gusts. It'll be like I won't call it cold. I'll call it chilly wind and rain. Then on Saturday it'll be sunny. The high will only be 63, and it will still be.
That's
around the-
summertime weather.
It is going to feel like summer compared to what last week felt
Yeah, I
like. So
believe that.
yeah, I agree.
My take is look at this weather trying to be all springy and cute, like it didn't try to kill us last week.
Yeah.
It's just.
But it's getting ready for another shot at us.
I
It's
think
got 2
I think
barrels.
Rayford's right.
It's
I do
gonna-
think Rayford's
it is
right.
a double barrel shotgun. He's only fired 1 round. Stand by.
Rayford, I found a picture. I think it's the Craven County shirt is what it says. And I can't tell if this is one. It looks like it's 1 story, but it's big. It's big. It's like long, not overly wide, but long.
I'm trying to remember
looks
if
like
I've
one
ever
story.
been to the jail or the
Yeah, it
sheriff's
does.
office there.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
It looks like a 1-story building.
I know
It's
I've
cute.
got to go by the prison up there. What's the name of that prison? Up there near Washington,
Oh, isn't that
coming out of New Bern, coming out of Craven. Name of that prison.
Oh, you had to ask me.
North
I
Carolina
had a
Prison
client was
Unit
in there.
something.
I can't remember.
Let me see. I have to look it up now.
Okay, Bob Menendez.
Yep.
He got
New
sentenced to
Jersey's
11 years.
Look, I have
Yes,
it right
race
there.
ex-senator.
I've forgotten what did he do?
I
Some like
can tell you
gold
that.
bars.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You ready?
He
Yeah.
He
was
was convicted earlier. He was sentenced yesterday,
Yeah.
11 years time in a central role in an audacious international bribery scheme.
Mhm.
How about that one? The judge gave him a bunch of grief. You were successful, powerful, he said.
Mhm.
You stood at the apex of our political system.
Right.
Somewhere along the way, I don't know where it was, you lost your way. Working for the public good became working for your good. Whoa, Menendez cried.
He cried.
And said, is he going to appeal it? Then he tried to tell the judge everything, oh, poor, woe is me. He was, let's see, he likes Trump, by the way. He agrees with Trump on a lot of things.
Well,
I
did
don't
you
believe
see
that.
his presser?
He's hoping that he will do it. He got gold bars, a Mercedes, and money
Yes.
in exchange for his support for various whatever. He was indicted 16 months ago. He was serving at the time as chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee,
Oh,
one of the
Lord.
most powerful perches
Yeah.
in Washington. Well, that perch was occupied by a buzzard.
Well, didn't they already find his wife guilty? Didn't she already go to
I
trial?
think so. I don't remember. She
Yeah.
knew about it. She was involved in
Gold
it.
Bar Bob is what they've dubbed him.
Yeah.
Well,
Thousands and thousands of cash dollars,
mhm.
bricks of gold, and a Mercedes-Benz convertible. Dude, you're way too old for that crap.
Well, it also says he was in the Senate for more than 18 years,
Yeah,
which
too
I
long.
knew it was. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like a whole term limit thing right here.
Yesterday afternoon, he gave a presser and he was, just like, this is not right. I have to agree with Trump about political witch hunts. And this was all about politics. I'm like,
there was nothing political witching.
Until you got
did.
caught,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have said that.
First of all, he's a Democrat.
Oh, no. The wife has not gone to court yet, it says.
Okay.
She's still waiting.
He's a Democrat.
Yeah.
He was arrested during a Democrat presidency.
He was.
Oh, Lord.
The AG was a Democrat. Everybody was Democrats, and he was kicked out of the Senate.
Wait, how did he get to do a press conference yesterday? Aren't you immediately taken to
No,
jail?
they give you time to go home and get your mess in order.
Well,
Are you
appeals and stuff
serious?
like
Buy
that.
some
Yeah.
clean- but maybe 6 months before he reports for jail.
Sure.
Or the average citizen would go and go right from the courthouse.
Believe it or not, there are a lot of them that smugglers and everybody else that get time to go steal some more money and stash it.
How do you
That's
feel?
what's wrong.
How do you feel about this, Kelly? I know you're going to go off. Adam argued in favor of a lesser prison sentence, saying that the guilty verdict has scarred
Menendez.
Thank you, Menendez's reputation enough.
You got to be kidding me. And it gets better. I just read on here when he was in trial, he was blaming his wife for this.
Uh-huh.
Gonna throw her under the bus. Now, yeah, she might have been involved, but buddy, you did just as much. And her trial is on March 18th.
Behind every
Yeah.
good
And there
man,
was
there's
two
a
other
good
dudes.
woman.
I'm going to have to watch that.
There was a
it's
Fred
in federal.
Diabetes. He was found guilty last July of bribery and obstruction of justice. And then he hasn't been sentenced yet. Oh, no, I'll take that back. He's awaiting sentencing in March on a separate federal bank fraud case. Well, this guy's just doing all kinds of stuff because that guy
They're making deals.
Well, he got, hold on, I can tell you, he already got sentenced on Wednesday too. Okay, so he got his 7 years and $1.75 million fine. The third conspirator, Egyptian American businessman Wael Hana, I don't know if I said that right. He was sentenced to 8 years and $1.3 million fine. Menendez got the 11 years, but was not fined. I guess he gets to keep his gold bars.
He got no
and his-
money.
When they raided his
sold it all to pay
house,
the lawyer.
they raided his house in June 2022, found 13 gold bars worth $150,000 tucked inside a bedroom safe. Nearly $500,000 in cash was spread all over the house, including wads of
Pocket change.
bills totaling $14,500 tucked into a pair of Timberland work boots and cash-filled envelopes stuffed into the pockets of his official Senate jacket. That's the one I remember the most, was the money stuffed into his official jacket.
Yeah.
And
It's Joy. Joy.
Joy on the line?
Yes,
Joy's
she's
on
trying
the
to
line.
call in. Yeah.
No, she's not. She hung up.
Joy, call back.
Sorry,
Call
Joy.
back, Joy.
Bring us up, Joy.
Ring-a-ding.
Our federal folks are rounding up illegal aliens. We've talked about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Who also had the distinction of being crooks. Seems that there are a bunch of those folks in the United States these days, despite the naysayers and liberals' claims to the contrary. Big question until we decide whether to try them for crimes committed here or send them packing with promises of severe punishment should they ever try to get back here. Where can we stash them? Well, they've answered the question. President Trump has mandated that the secure facilities at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, be resurrected and made ready for occupancy. Trump's new defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, says the facility at the naval base can safely and securely hold 30,000 inmates. I had no idea it could handle that many. Homeland Security and the DOD will be in charge of the operations. The illegals will be kept at Gitmo until they can safely be returned to their countries of origin. The criminal aliens will not be confined together, terrorists being held at the Cuban camp. I think they should be. We could weed out that problem.
Yeah.
Where'd Joy? She still didn't call back?
She did make a note on her Facebook that she thinks the name of the prison in Craven County is Craven County.
Could be.
Craven Correctional
Facility.
Yes. So I was trying to look it up, but it just keeps hanging up.
The feds are snatching up alien criminals across the country. Some agents down in Florida stumbled onto some Chinese aliens that were smuggled by boat from the Bahamas into the United States. It's well known that there's a crackdown on what is known to have been an easy bridge into the U.S. from Mexico. So smugglers are apparently making the relatively short run from the Bahamas to South Florida. Police have already arrested 4 Cubans smuggling. Between 2021 and 24, hold on, the number of illegal Chinese immigrants increased by more than 8,000%. Do you have any idea how many times 8,000% is?
Mm-hmm. A lot.
The number of illegal Chinese immigrants increased by more than 8,000%. If you don't think this is a communist Chinese plot to get involved with the technical industry, you're just fooling yourselves. From spy balloons crossing the entire width of the United States, taking pictures of our strategically located military operations, to purchasing large tracts of land, sometimes properties near our military bases. You can only imagine what is ahead if we don't stop this mess in its tracks right now. Good morning. You are now live and local.
Joy.
Good morning.
Hey, Joy, how are you?
I'm local, but I don't know if I'm live.
Oh, you are. I can hear you talking.
We talking about a Craven Correctional Institution.
Yes,
I think
the
that's
one
it.
in Vanceboro.
Yeah, that's the ones where all the inmates go prior to their incarceration camp. They go there for their medical evaluations and their mental health evaluations.
Oh, okay.
And from that point, they stay there 2 to 3 weeks normally, to check out for any health issues and or mental issues, to find out which camp they need to go to, either a medical facility or a regular, I think it's like a minimum security prison.
Yeah.
But they do all their medical stuff before they put them to their permanent.
So that's a distribution center.
Yeah, exactly. If that's the one that's Vanceboro, yes, if that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it says jail and prison, so that's all I could get on it. But you're right, it's Craven Correctional Institution.
Yeah, that's where they send everyone before they send them to their temporary housing unit until they completed their term of service. To
Interesting.
Pay their debt to society.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right.
And it seems like it's really sad that people don't let it leave there after they pay their debt to society, but they have to live with it the rest of their life from other people. But that's just how it is.
Uh-huh.
But that's the one that maybe I think she's thinking about possibly. Now, they do have Craven jail there, of course, but then they have this institute. They have dental there. I mean, all sorts of everything. Medical, mental, you name it, they've got it there.
Yeah.
So that's my bit of information today for Live and Local.
Well,
Okay, we do appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Joy, take care. Best of Donnie.
Y'all have a good day. Hey, he's ready for that warm weather to come up so you get that boat out.
Yes, I understand. I'm waiting for it too, because we got to get some trout now, but you can't catch them anymore. Not yet.
Look, they were laying all over everywhere. I mean, it was like it's really sad.
No, and you cannot scoop them up either.
No, and you can only get 4. I mean, gosh, well, that's another thing. That's really sad that happened. That's one of the things nature's do, I guess. It's part of it.
Yeah, it is. It's very sad. It's a very sad situation.
Have a great day.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Thank you again for what you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate your call. Always.
Okay.
Bye. That's one of our good
I don't
friends,
know.
Joy.
Did you see the email sent you? I was late last night about the Car Radio Act introduced into Congress. Oh, I forgot. Chris Marks is on the
about
phone.
time.
Did you say the Car Radio Act?
Yeah, at one time the car manufacturers wanted to put
AM.
radios in a car without AM on it.
Right.
Well, you know what? There are a whole lot of religious
Oh, okay, that's right.
broadcasters,
That's right.
a lot of talk shows that are on AM. And
A lot.
so we had a group of individuals there in the car manufacturing distance that were heathens, and they were afraid of talk radio. That's my analysis of them. And we have, we'll probably have a good analysis right here too that would agree with me. Right, Chris?
Go with it, Chris.
You're exactly right. Talk radio is a very valuable tool, especially local talk radio,
Yep.
which fortunately for us right now, we have Live and Local Real Talk on Facebook and YouTube, and hopefully soon, one day, we'll be back on a radio station, because it's very important for the people in this area. If you hear a lot of people speak of things, we don't have a local TV station. We know that.
Nope.
Really local. Local paper. We love Chris Morgan, but it's not what it used to be. Now you need something to get a chance for all these people that are calling in to talk about local issues and things. And so I think it's very local talk radio has been around since I was in radio way back when. It's going to come back. Bell bottoms have come back. Platform shoes are coming back. Full circle. Everything's coming back. It'll be happening soon, hopefully sooner than later. Just a couple of things. I saw on television the other night, the NBC News, and we're talking about illegal aliens, and Peter Alexander from NBC questioned President Trump's press secretary. He does a great job so far.
Yes, sir.
And he said, now some of these people who are arrested have broken no laws. They haven't done anything. You know what she said?
Yeah.
They entered the country illegally. That is against the law. They broke the law.
I've said it, I've preached it, and nobody listens to me, and I don't care. It's okay. You break the law when you are if you break the law by entering this country, you are illegal.
But this might be a number. These numbers might help people fully understand why a majority of Americans, not all, and I love all people. I think you all do love all people, but
I got a couple I need to introduce you to, but one of them's not with us anymore. So
yeah, but the cost to keep an illegal American, illegal alien in the United States is somewhere around $746 billion. To deport them is $124 billion. So which one is costing taxpayers more money?
Keep them or fly them out.
Put them on the boat.
I feel bad for the people that have been here for 30 years. They entered illegally 30 years ago. But the bottom line is, and someone mentioned this to me last night after a meeting. They said, when are we going to start taking care of Americans first?
When we have an American president who actually relates to the people,
Who loves us.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
who wants to make America great again.
It's all about doing that rather than getting a vote.
Yeah, and this is where people come to have a better life, and I fully understand it. My grandfather, God rest his soul, he came over from Sicily, but he did it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe something happened that changed it from all of a sudden you can't go to Ellis Island anymore. You can't do this the right way, and then so you're coming in illegally. You're crossing the border without the right permission, the right paperwork, whatever. Start having night courts if that's what it's going to take to process these people. I'm all for everybody having a good life. We have a good life.
Well, they applied before they left their home for entry into the United States, and they could not come here. I mean, they weren't going to make it. They just turn them around on the boat unless they had permission to come to apply. They have to apply first to come here, and then they get screened when they get here as well. And, and those are doing it the legal way. And sometimes, yes, it will take years. It did take years for some of them. Our system was not even close to being perfect. Work on the system, fix it. Don't just circumvent it. That was the issue. You suddenly decided to become a criminal. And yes, you were led there by perhaps smugglers and coyotes and whatever else you want to call the scum, profiteers, pirates.
I think one of the biggest ones they got in New York the other night was a Venezuelan gang leader.
Yep, he was
responsible for a whole bunch of crime. It's sad, and many Americans have died from this, and people from other nationalities have died from it. But I think we all should just love one another. But when it comes to coming into the country, you do go through the proper process, the proper way, and then you'll be an American. And I know many that have become American.
So do I.
And they did it the right way. Last thing, Lee, are you ready for this?
Hit me with it.
Well, the next to the last week, so late February,
Yes.
the big snow.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Third week in February.
I've heard a lot of meteorologists say that to buckle up for that period of time, that we may be hit with another snowstorm. We'll wait and see.
What is the Farmer's
Well, you know
Almanac
what,
say?
Chris? I had you and me down for January and February. So mid-January, mid-February.
We're 1 for 1. Everyone says the same thing, though. It was nice to see it, but it was nice to get rid of it real fast. So.
Yeah. Well, Rayford was correct too in his predictions. So what I've got written down
December
for him.
and January.
So we're all three of our predictions.
Well,
so far.
I will, Chris, I will say my daughter's birthday is February 23rd. And historically, on her birthday here in Oslo County, it's either very, very cold or very, very warm. There has not in her 31 years, about to be 32 years, has there not been here when she's had her little birthday parties growing up. It was either very cold or very warm.
But no snow.
Kelly,
I don't recall it. Snow.
You better go ahead and give her birthday present now. Because if this snows again, Rayford and I are putting you in bubble wrap and tying you to the couch inside your house.
You will not be able to leave the confines.
Kelly, is there any way it could be moved to the 25th?
I know, right?
I have travel plans on the 24th.
Oh no! Well, yeah, and
I know.
And her birthday's on a Sunday this year. I'm just looking it up.
No, I know we're gonna get hit.
Yeah, so
it's like Rayford going on vacation. We get hurricanes.
Yep. So, but her birthday's always very, very warm or very, very cold. Never been an in between at all. Yeah. So figure it out.
Well, we'll see. But it's a great show. Y'all have a blessed day.
Chris, thank you. We'll chat tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Well, before he left office, Mr. Biden issued an order through then DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to extend a temporary protection. Do you remember that? He extended a temporary protected status designation to Venezuelan nationals by an additional 18 months.
What?
He was going to let them stay here for another 18 months without screening them, without anything. I brought them over here. I flew a plane down there. They got aboard my plane. I allowed them to come here. I encouraged them to come here. So he wanted to keep them, and he just signed it just before he left office. Well, the new Homeland Security Secretary, we know Ms. Nome, don't we? She canceled that order. TPS grants protection from deportation and allows work permits for nationals living in the U.S. from countries deemed unsafe for them to be returned. Mayorkas announced extensions for TPS for Venezuela, El Salvador, Sudan, and Ukraine for an additional 18 months. Well, Venezuela's extension applied to about how many Venezuelans do you think were here under those orders?
I'm afraid to even speculate.
600,000.
What?
Who's
left in their country?
1,000 were living here under the TPS, but would not allow new applications. So that's all that did. The extension would have further complicated the Trump administration's efforts to deport illegal immigrants from Venezuela, which has been a focus given the rise of TDA, that violent street gang from Venezuela. Noem and the president figured that allowing these violent gangbangers to be sheltered in this country for an additional year and a half was unhealthy for Americans. Yeah. Makes me wonder what was in that move for Biden, or seriously, who in the Biden administration had something to gain by protecting the thugs. Biden did not know what he was signing. I do not believe
probably a lot of times he
Yes.
did
he did not.
sign and
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
So who slipped this through, this order through, and why did they do it? What did they have to gain by doing it?
Well,
There's something
I agree with you.
in the works.
it was probably
We're
Hunter
gonna
sliding
find out. We're
his
gonna-
pardon right under the desk. Dad,
We're
will
gonna
you
find-
sign
we'll-
this and sign for me to get a loan? Will you co-sign with it? And he's probably signing his pardon. See, yeah.
What's comical is he didn't pardon himself.
I think he
He
forgot.
can't.
Why didn't
You
he
can't
pardon
pardon
his
yourself?
dog?
Okay.
That dog bit
It was
Secret
more than
Service
one
agents.
dog. It was like two
Yes.
of them.
It's the smartest thing that man could have done. But
his
he's
dogs.
82 years old. He knows
Yeah.
nobody's going to come
Bless
after
his
him. The
heart.
former AG said it's useless to go after him.
Oh, I agree
Couldn't
with
get
that.
couldn't get him before a jury within 5 years,
Yeah.
and by that time, but anyway, but if he had been smart, if he'd been half smart, he would resigned on the 15th of January.
Mm-hmm.
His VP would have taken over
Mm-hmm.
and could have pardoned him at that time.
I
Gerald
didn't think
Ford
about
took
that,
over
yeah.
as president from
Yeah.
Richard Nixon, and first thing he did was pardon Nixon.
Yeah.
That would have been the smart way to do it, but these people didn't consult me.
News for you, Kelly, before you go.
Okay, let's hear it.
Trump has take his SpaceX
Yeah.
and go up
I
and
saw that.
rescue
He
those.
March. Finally get those poor astronauts off that space station.
So once again,
I'm just
fire it up.
well.
Fire up
Here's
the
the thing:
SpaceX.
if you're Musk
Mm-hmm.
and you're Trump, would you want to actually do that? There've been a couple of little mishaps.
I agree, but get those people off that
I know
space
that, but
station. I say take them all.
Do you do you want to have them blow up as they're approaching the
I don't think-
Earth's atmosphere?
Well, apparently Musk's stuff is better than NASA's.
well,
so
the
there's
last
that.
one that just went up,
Yeah.
the spaceship itself blew up in space.
Yeah,
It was a test, but
but I mean,
the cone came. I mean,
get them all
the
out.
base
Get
of
them
it
all
came-
out of there. That space station's aging anyway. They're talking about eventually evacuating it at some point. It's not going to last.
What are they going to do
Billionaire
with
to
it?
the
They
rescue.
can't sink it in its artificial reef.
No, they're going to just
Unless
have
you-
it.
Unless you could just fly it over one of the oceans and pull the plug
They're
and
going
let
to
it
keep it
sink.
up there. They said all with all the other space junk they got up there. I read somewhere that now when they fly up there to that thing, it's hazardous for the sheer amount of
cow,
dead satellites and what? Yeah, cow,
semi,
this, that, yeah.
know
So
who that
I don't know
is.
who that number is.
That's a new number.
It is a new number.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work.
All right, let's catch them before we go.
Well, let's just see. You're live and local. Real Talk. Can I help you? Hello. You want to sell me some insurance, or you want to sell me a car plan, right? Hello.
They don't want to talk. They're scared.
Chicken.
Chicken. Bark, 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 bark. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. All live on local Real Talk, where we're always awake. I won't be for long, but never woke.
What noise does a groundhog make?
Don't
Oh!
do not start this.
You mean before or after you shoot him?
Ouch. All right. Bye,
Oink,
everyone.
oink. Oink, oink. Bye. We'll see you in the morning.